trauma bonds. Got close off of battle scars. Equal pain, so we think it's equal game. Same team, but it's different hearts. Same goals, but it's different shots. Thought we was one and the same. Turns out you were just running me game. Should've known, but I couldn't guess it. It's a damn shame.
Man, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Hoop MCs. We're sorry about the long gap between our last episode and when we're recording this one right now. However, Texas has gone through a crazy winter storm, knocked out millions of people's homes' powers and without water, but we are back. What is up, my guy?
What's up, Hassan? I want to ask how you are this week, but I think we all know the answer.
Yeah, I had better weeks, but
yeah, same. I mean, this podcast is something different this week. I'll tell you that. If you guys can see our setup right now.
So we were having some video quality issues and audio, so we had to borrow some phones to make this work. But we want to go ahead and jump right into it because those people want their phones back pretty soon. So
yeah, if you guys want to lend us phones for the future, just let us know.
Yeah, well, we're going to create a Patreon pretty soon, so we'd appreciate those donations and stuff. But let's get to it, yeah?
Yes, sir.
So one of the biggest topics right now in the NBA is the NBA All-Star. So it's going to be held in Atlanta. The starters were just announced. And right now, we're going to go ahead and kind of give our reaction to those starters, if we feel like somebody got snubbed or not. So we're going to go ahead and just kick it off with the Western Conference. Right now, you got Luka, Steph, LeBron, Joker, and Kawhi. So first take, Nassim, I'm going to pass it off to you. Give me your reaction. What do you like, what you don't like, etc.?
I kind of agree with most of it other than Luka being over probably Dame. I mean, me and you both kind of agreed that Luka was off to a very pedestrian start along with the Mavericks. Not that Damian Lillard, his team was doing any better, but I still feel like he was putting up better numbers and he was more deserving of the starting role. But, I mean, Luka's more with the fans, so it's not surprising to see him get the nod, but I would have much rather seen Dame take that starting nod.
Yeah, I think, honestly, I would agree with everything. I think Luka is probably, he has cleaner numbers, if that makes sense. He's closer to a triple-double, and I'm sure, that's the first thing that people look at. He's obviously had a couple of 40-point performances recently, so he put on a show right there. But the biggest thing for me was if you look at the advanced metrics, Damian Lillard was actually having a better season. His team is actually performing much better, and they both had similar injury issues, obviously with CJ McCollum out and then Kristaps Porzingis being out for the Mavericks. I think Damian Lillard probably should have gotten the nod, but I think that is also the only spot or the only player that I feel like who got snubbed, Damian Lillard.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, everyone else, there wasn't really competition in their role. I mean, no, not looking at it, I don't really see anyone who could replace anybody else in the lineup.
Yeah. Go ahead and switch gears to the Eastern Conference. Tell us who the starters were there.
For the East, we have Kyrie Irving, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Giannis, and Joel Embiid. And I'll let you... I mean, me and you already both know what we're going to jump into. So I'll let you take it over first.
So my biggest thing was, obviously you got two Brooklyn Nets in the starting lineup, but not saying that Kyrie Irving isn't having a great season. He's actually having one of his better seasons, but I thought it was kind of ridiculous how, Kyrie and Beal both got the nod over Harden, just because Harden has, his scoring has went down dramatically, but that's going to be expected given who he's playing with, and he obviously, has a different role now being the point guard. But yeah, I just think the dude got snubbed big time. He's averaging, I think he's leading the league in assists.
Yeah.
And so, Yeah, I think probably out of them two, I would say Harden deserves to be over there, to be over Kyrie as a starter, because it's hard not to give it to Beal when the dude is like this. He's gonna probably get the scoring title. He's averaging, I don't know, like what, 35 points a game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you feel bad for the guy.
Yeah, I definitely. I mean, me and you, I think right when the Eastern Conference got started, we both went to tweet out like, "Where the hell is James Harden?"
Yeah.
I agree with everybody else: Beal, KD, Giannis, and Joel. Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably. But I don't agree with Kyrie over Harden. Harden's a much better player. I mean, he's doing. I don't want to say he's doing more for the team, but I would. Okay, yeah, he's probably doing more for the Nets than the Kyrie is, but
Yeah.
overall, like fans want to see probably Harden over Kyrie anyway. So I don't know what that was about at all.
Yeah. Well, all right. So let's get to the juicy part. This is obviously the more exciting aspect, if you will, about the All-Star event. So the reserves. We were on the Eastern Conference. Go ahead and tell me who you got as the Eastern Conference All-Star reserves. So there are 7 spots, so 12 players in total. So give me your 7. For those guys that are like, fringe, if that makes sense. Like obviously Harden's going to be a reserve, and he, like, you would expect that. But the guys that like, you had to really think deep and hard about. Tell me why you decided to give them the nod over certain players.
Okay. Well, Harden obviously. Jason Tatum, I think that was obvious.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown and Bam Adebayo, I would include them.
Okay.
Which one are you questioning?
Bam. But go ahead. That was 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
The 3 that I guess would be on the fringe, just because they could be easily switchable with other guys, would be Julius Randle, Zach LaVine, and Domantas Sabonis, which I learned him from you.
Yeah. Let's go. No, I'm just kidding.
Julius Randle, as much as I refuse to acknowledge that the Knicks are an actual team in the NBA, he has been playing really well. His 13 spin moves a game is leading the league.
Yep.
Damn, I had his averages pulled up before all this mess, so I can't remember exactly what his averages were. I think it was 26, 11, and 5 or something. So he was.
That's insanely high. I don't think it's that much.
Are you sure?
Let me go ahead and take a look, actually, because I was looking at his averages earlier, too. So he's averaging 23, 11, and 5.5 assists.
Okay, so I was off by 3 points. My bad, dude.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It happens.
Zach LaVine, I honestly can't remember what his average. Like, this whole thing just messed up my memory. But I know that he's been playing really well this season as well, and I feel like he was very deserving of the nod. The only person that I would have... I don't know what I'm saying. Sabonis, and then he was clearly averaging almost a triple-double for most of the season, and he's leading the Pacers. So I think that was a pretty given one. So I don't think Sabonis was a question. I think it was really just between LaVine and Randle. Okay,
so for me, I have pretty much those 5 of your 7 reserves. Where we differ is, believe it or not, I had to snub Zach LaVine. I know. And I didn't have Bam Adebayo. I actually didn't put any Miami Heat player just because of the fact that Jimmy Butler missed some time. And I feel like there are players that are more deserving than Bam. So who I have instead for those 2 players are, you're gonna hate me for this, but Chris Middleton, and he's on a 50-40-90 watch. And he's having actually a really good season. He's having a career high in assists, so he has that playmaking role. And I think, honestly, he might be leading his team in assists, but don't quote me on that. And lastly, I don't know how you missed this, but Trae Young. I feel like... No, I was going to say, like, Trae Young, he actually deserves it. He's having a really good season. The Hawks are obviously kind of, like, reeling a bit in terms of the standings, but... I think you had LaVine, and I'm not sure what the difference is in standings between LaVine and Trae Young, and I haven't really compared them too hard, but I think Trae Young, I would give the nod over him. But other than that, I think we mirror each other.
I will say Chris Middleton and Trae Young were the 2 that I was saying were interchangeable with, in my opinion, Randall and Lavine, because I wanted to keep Bam on there. But
was there anybody else on that Eastern Conference reserves that you had to like sit there and think a minute like, dang, I shouldn't leave him out, but you did?
other than them two,
I think for me it was Fred VanVleet.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really think too hard about him. I'm not gonna lie, just
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to give him the nod over Trae Young, for example. But no, he's having. I think he's probably the best player on the Raptors right now. Kyle Lowry. I swear to God, if that guy makes another All-Star team, I'm going to shoot myself. But I'm so tired of him.
I don't know how he just sneaks in every year. It really doesn't make
Every time. It's so annoying. Yeah. And the thing is, like, I'm not saying that, like, he's trash by any means. He's a great leader. But, like, everybody knows the All-Star has to do with, like, the player's stats. This guy has, like, underwhelming stats compared to a bunch of people who get snubbed. And I just don't understand.
Yeah, he's the guy in the group project, like you said like, a couple weeks ago, who does nothing but just ends up on the best team or project or whatever.
He's the dude who like 2 days before the deadline, he's like, "Yo, y'all need help with anything?"
Well, after, yeah, that's kind of me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if anybody in my house is doing something, I'll just go up to them when they're done and ask them if they need help, just to make it seem like like I'm offering help.
Yeah, you're that guy that I don't like. I get you, man. Let's go ahead and kick it back off to the Western Conference reserves. I think I'll go first since you kicked it off first. I'm saying kicking it off a lot. But so I got Paul George, Damian Lillard, obviously, Zion Williamson. I don't like that I have him here, but you have to give it to him. Rudy Gobert, Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and with Anthony Davis, he would have been a reserve, but since he's out, I'm giving it to Chris Paul. So I think I had, if I remember correctly, man, I had, who did I have that got snubbed? Damn it, I'm trying to remember. Go, you know what? I don't want to waste time. Go ahead and tell your reserves, and then from there, I'll see if those were the players that I actually were thinking about.
Okay, so we had actually 6 out of the 7 the same. I had Dame, Donovan,
Nice.
PG, Gobert, Booker, and Zion. It was kind of hard to, like, the Western Conference, I feel like was a lot easier to pick than the Eastern Conference. So
I think so. Yeah.
There wasn't really much interchanging I could have done. The only thing is, I let my brain-eating amoeba take over.
I knew it. The thing is, I had the guy, and then I'm like, man, what are you doing?
No, I still think even though he got hurt, I mean, we've seen injured players make it before. I think Christian Wood deserves to be on there. He's having an amazing season. My brain-eating amoeba is still talking, by the way. This isn't Nassim. He's having an amazing season, and I mean, if it wasn't for him on the Rockets, they would literally be dead last. Not that they're anything special anyways, but I still think he was very well deserving of an all-star role before the injury. And even with the injury, I still would give him the nod.
Yeah, I think it's true. I mean, like, the Rockets are essentially close to being dead last anyways, so we're seeing that in front of our own eyes. Man, I really can't think of anybody else that I had. Dang it, let me see. The Clippers, Lakers, Utah, no.
Jamal
I think
Murray, maybe? No?
No, I didn't even. My brain never even went there. I think I had De'Aaron Fox as somebody, but I never took him serious. Karl Anthony Towns. I was just going through standings, like the teams, and I'm like, all right, who are their best players? Obviously, but I think Cat was hurt. But yeah, no, I think I kind of agree with you. The East was probably a little bit tougher. So
Yeah, we should have started with the West, honestly.
yeah, but I think Donovan Mitchell, I did actually have to think a little bit harder, a little bit like more about why I would include him over somebody, but I just can't remember right now. But it's hard not to give him the nod whenever he's like one of their best players and he's on the best team in the league. So that's usually the case.
I was close to giving it to Mike Conley instead of Wood, by the way.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are on that Mike Conley as an all-star train. I'm not one of them, just because, I think the all-star has a lot to do with stats. And I don't remember exactly if he's having like a career year in one area, but I know he's obviously one of the more important players, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know, man. The West was very easy, other than the Wood, AD. Who was the person you picked again? CP3,
I put Chris Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but
Chris Paul.
It just depends if you want a guard or a big at that point.
Yeah, and that is actually what I was thinking about, like how many guards I have, how many forwards I have, and maybe the West is a little bit smaller. I think just because you got Zion Williamson and Rudy Gobert only as your bigs, and I wouldn't really say Zion's a big, but Brandon Ingram, he was another guy that I had to think about.
Yeah, same.
But honestly, I would still give the nod for Christian Wood over Brandon Ingram, just because I think Wood is having a much better season.
And we have brain eating amoeba.
And we do have brain eating amoeba, yeah. So if you guys want to go ahead and donate to the link below to help us out with that surgery, we'd really appreciate it. So we're going to go ahead and probably wrap this up here pretty soon. Next episode, I feel like we're due for another updated MVP rankings, you and I. That's kind of our bread and butter. And we yell at each other a lot. So we'll get to that. Again, we appreciate y'all for supporting us. And we apologize for being MIA for about a week. But the show is and must go on. So go ahead and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube and our Apple Podcast. Follow us on Spotify. They're always going to be in the description for whatever platform you're using to listen to this or watch this on. So, Nassim, any final comments, remarks?
Nothing much, man. Just stay safe, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Yep. Peace.
Trauma bonds, got close off of battle scars. Equal pain, so we think it's equal games. Same team, but it's different hearts. Same goals, but it's different shots. Thought we was winning the same. Turns out you were just running me game. Should've known, but I couldn't guess it. It's a damn shame.